What's up, everybody? Shouts out. I see some folks in the chat here. Gina, what's up? I see Patrick. Sam is in the chat. Guys, we're about to have a lot of fun. Let's jump into it. Here's the SoCo Show live. What's up, everybody? This is the voice and the face of the co-host, Cody Michael. I'm joined, as always, by the so-host, Seth Ott.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? How's it going, man?
This is video, so I don't have to talk, do I?
Well, it might be better. You're better seen than heard is something we've heard a lot of. So this will be good. This will be good. And let's not forget our third host joining us as well.
At JBuck.
JB, where are you at?
It's me. I'm a ghost. What's going on, everybody? Wow, look at your guys' lovely faces. I actually have to pay attention while you guys are doing your reviews and stuff rather than, scrolling via Twitter. But, man, it's the first live SoCo show.
It feels good, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we were talking before we came on, and I've never been nervous to do the podcast, but now that a bunch of people are watching us do it, was a little nervous before we fired it up here. How are you guys feeling?
It's a little nerve-wracking not having that net, because people at home don't know how much of the offensive things you cut out that Jared says. I mean, Jared is so offensive.
That's why I haven't become a full member, because you're like, we can't have this. We cannot have this guy on our podcast.
No. He's too vulgar.
Yes.
It's a liability to have you on the show. You're always saying nasty shit. Like, for example,
I really like feet.
It's just we just can't have that kind of stuff all the time.
Oh shit.
Guys, this is so exciting. We love seeing you over here in the chat. I see Mike Media has joined us as well. Tyler Calvert, what's up? Great to have you guys in here. It's just, we always want for this to be a conversation with us and you, and we've never gotten to hear you back before. So don't be shy in the comments. Let us know what you think. We'll ask you guys some questions and things. And as we get started here, whether this is your first show or your 161st show, as it is ours, you might know that the podcast has come a long way. From the summer of 2017 when Seth got it started with one microphone that he has now, and
right.
and pretty much nothing, and a laptop that was broken when we started.
I can grab that too. I still have that.
You still got
God, you got to upgrade. You got to upgrade.
I mean, I'm not using it, but I am using a laptop with a broken screen, so it's not much better.
Yeah. It's we've found a way every time to cobble something together. Patrick is show 169. I don't know where he got those other 8, but I got to give him a
69.
69.
There we go. We've cobbled things together at every step. We've gotten new pieces of software over the years. We've gotten new microphones. We've continued to build things out. As you can see here now, we've got visuals and we're live. So it just continues to kind of grow and evolve. And one of the things that has grown, or that has not grown and evolved, has been the theme song. Ever since episode number 4, we've had the same theme, and you just heard it to start the show. And we're pretty proud of the theme. Don't get us wrong, but we put that thing together like in like 10 minutes with the two of our voices and a keyboard that just had like stock beats in it.
I still have that currently too.
That's gonna go in a museum someday. It's gonna be fucking great. And so after 157 episodes with the same theme, we thought maybe it's time, since we're updating everything else, that we update the theme. Maybe we bring that into 2020 along with the rest of us. And guys, we did just that. We reached out to our friend Nolan, who you might know as NPA. There's people out there who may know Nolan. He may be out there as well. And we said, Nolan, we need an updated new theme that still is the SoCo Show, but sounds like someone who knows what they're doing made it. And we're gonna give you guys the first listen of it. No one has heard this other than the people on the show. No one has ever heard this. And before I play the theme for the very first time, Jared, the people want to see. The people
see them glass cutters. Well, the thing is, I don't understand how they know it's cold in here. But I'm not gonna lie, my fingers are freezing. I wish I had mittens on right now because it is very cold. It's this weird time here where I'm at, where it's like, do I turn the AC on? Do I turn the heat on? So yeah, I got sweatpants. I have a sweatshirt. But if you guys want to see the glass cutters, head over to Patreon. That's after show material. We're gonna get real filthy. You know, I might whip out the helicopter and fly around this room. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Head over to the Patreon for
At
that.
Jared Buckendall.
There you go.
Also, too, before we play the song, I'm really sad that we missed the opportunity to have a recording of one of us just going, no, like singing like that.
No, you know what I thought you were gonna play is the Trump 2020 that song.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not that. Don't worry. We couldn't afford the rights to that one. All right, guys. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to the thumbnail you saw to start the show. We're gonna play the old song. It's gonna be retired for the final time.
We're gonna
and then we're gonna go right into the new song. We're gonna come back, restart the show, and we're diving right the fuck in. So, Jared, take us out, and we're gonna hear that new theme in just a sec here. Ooh, listen to that.
Damn, that sounds good.
I
don't know about you guys, but I think it's fucking funky.
Is your Mike V's in the chat saying? We still got the great vocals on that. The lyrics. If you want the lyrics, we'll put them out later on the YouTube. You can put them
get a lyrics video put together, monetize that.
But I would tell you, so for folks who don't know, we recorded the original theme song the entire 3 years ago and didn't touch it. And then we needed to re-record the vocals for the new edition. And it took me like an hour to just get that noise. I didn't remember how it was done because it was so just how we were fucking around one day.
Weirdly enough, actually had to deepen his voice to get to that pitch. So it was
Lower it by -3.
Yeah. I had to learn some audio editing to make that sound okay. What are folks saying here? We got damn from TB. He likes it. Historic moment. Yes, it is, Mike. Christopher Nolan. Yeah, I love the bass. Tyler hears the bass in that. Great stuff out there. So what do we got to get to next here? Oh, Patrick, that's something maybe you can keep to yourself.
Oh, that's nasty.
Wow. Oh, you know what? We were talking about Jared showing the glass cutters. I think we need to send Patrick one of these.
Please show me your dick.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Well, guys, so we got the new theme. We're here. We're live. And before we go any further, we got to pause and we got to give a shout out to you, Jared, for hosting us here on the JBuck Studios YouTube page and putting together the StreamYard. And basically, Seth and I are very incapable of doing most of this. So Jared is really the guy making it happen. So Jared, shout out to you, and we appreciate you having us on the channel here. If folks, if you're here for the first time on Jared's YouTube page, head down and like this video if you haven't yet. Maybe it's over here. And subscribe to Jared's channel. It helps out tremendously. And if you're looking for actual good YouTube channels to subscribe to, Jared's is one of the best out there. You're going to see great content all the time. So if you've not yet been to the YouTubes
At Jared Buckendall,
you're going to want to make sure that you're subscribed over there. This is something that we're going to be doing now monthly. So we're going to try for one of our shows every month to be a live video show. The show will still continue weekly as it has been, most often with audio only, but we'll be doing video every month. And Jared's going to be joining us for all of these live shows. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with these. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, guys. We're going to talk a little bit of movie news. We're going to have a really fun Mambo #5. We haven't done that in a while. We got a lot of movies to review as well. Quite a few things came out this week. But before we get into any of that, I know Sam was calling for it earlier. It's the crowd favorite. We got to do some Sheik Tweets, baby.
I call you a punk.
Well, I in this case, I did prepare ahead of time. Normally, I do not. For those, I don't know how much of this gets into the show, but most of the time, I do not prepare one right off the bat. So, but this one, Iron Sheik, he actually had his own rendition of one of my favorite songs by, I believe it's the Spin Doctors. I think that's who it's by.
Oh, okay.
It's I'll go ahead and sing it for us. No, I won't do that, actually.
Come on.
Nope.
Give the people what they want.
No, I'm not going to sing.
Give me what I want!
All right. If you want to call me baby, just go ahead. And if you like to tell me maybe, just go ahead and go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
It is the Spin
Sheik
Doctors.
is always good. Always good for the music parodies. I love that one. If you want to call me baby, go fuck yourself. And is that how it would go?
Yeah, exactly.
That was the not radio cut. That was the uncensored version.
Yeah. That's the original Spin Doctors version, or the Sheik Tweet remix, which we like too. Iron Sheik dropping the knowledge. And by the way, if you're here for the first time and this is very confusing for you, or if you've been listening for a while and it's very confusing for you, this guy right here is the Iron Sheik. And he's a retired Hall of Fame professional wrestler, and he just has fantastic tweets. And we've been reading his tweets, I think, for 130 episodes or so at least. It's been a lot. It's been most of the episodes. So if you've never seen the Sheik before and never knew who he was, this is your guy right here. So that's it for this week's Sheik Tweets.
I call you a punk!
All right, folks, time to shout out our sponsors. First of all, audibletrial.com/SoCo. Hit the link in the description box, and you're going to get 30 days of Audible and your first book for free. Free! There you go. Mathis Designs, our good friend Steph, is an artist, illustrator, and graphic designer. If you want to check out some of her work or commission something from her, head over to mathisdesigns.com. Paid! Seth, do you remember that this next one has a new sounder?
Yeah, so on the list of things to do today, I did not go back and listen to last week, so I do not remember what it's supposed to be.
Do you remember if I say it's George Takei related? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the part of the Beverly Hills song by Weezer.
Ooey gooey. Ooey gooey. Ooey gooey. I think that would be a good one, actually. But we have, of course, you'll see at the bottom there, Corn Fed and Wed, otherwise known as Mike's Wood. Head over to etsy.com/shop/cornfed and wed to get your wood worked.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, my, indeed. You see also at the top right here, brand new sponsor to the show, NPA. That's Nolan. You can head over to his Spotify page for his original music. And as I said, he did a fantastic job with our new theme. You're actually going to hear another product of Nolan's later on in the show, so look forward to that. And head over to the Spotify, give him a follow if you're using that platform. And as we go on from our usual sponsors, and we have NPA new, Jared, I want to go to you because this week is the start of a brand new business venture for you, and I think all you've done for us here warrants a sponsorship spot. So tell us what you got in the works here.
Yeah, so you guys can find me at Room 69 Studios over on OnlyFans. You can find feet videos, you can find over the pants hand job stuff. It's wild. No, I'm kidding. I shouldn't do that. I actually legit, which is funny because everyone thought I was joking, but I, along with Nolan, that was just on there, we started up our own business, Room 56 Studios, and essentially it's audio, graphic design, video productions, anything and everything like that. So if you guys have any sort of video or audio or anything like that, you want an intro, you want overlays like this, you want your wedding, we might have a wedding actually already booked, don't want to jinx it, so knock on wood. So if you want any of that stuff, yeah.
Cody and I weren't announcing it yet, Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
We haven't been telling people about the wedding yet.
Shit. Sorry. So yeah, room56studios.com. It's pretty professional. I did not make a graphic. .com. We tried for .biz or .gov, but apparently you have to be part of the government to get that .gov. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's bullshit, if you ask me. Mike in the chat just noticed the SoCo Show sign. That's a product of Mike's Wood.
Yeah,
that's as good a sponsorship as I think you're going to find.
Yeah, you should, I put a few holes in my wall trying to put it in the right spot for this. So you know, I had to get the good use out of it.
Oh man. All right. Well, again, don't forget to check out Room 56 Studios. They've got the website. You can find them on Instagram as well. Head on over there if you need some work done with those guys. And as we wrap up sponsors, as many of you know, and especially if you're a regular listener of the audio only show, typically we have a pre-recorded ad for Anchor, which is our podcasting host here. Because we're live, we don't have to do that. Yay! So you guys don't have to use your skip 30 seconds button. What I will say is if you're listening to the audio, which we are going to post tomorrow, if you're catching this later, you weren't able to join us live, I am still going to put an ad here. So you might have to, but so somewhere in here, that ad is going to pop up. And I bring up Anchor at this juncture just to bring up our Anchor wankers, and we got to give these folks a shout out. So these are Anchor contributors or supporters. You can go to our Anchor page, anchor.fm/the-SoCo-show, which there are links to everywhere. But so to listen to our show, you can go to any platform you like. But if you want to become a sponsor of the show and kick us a monthly contribution, you can do so by going to the Anchor page, clicking that support button, and you're going to join the hallowed halls of legendary individuals whose names appear on this screen right now. You've heard before Mike Vandenhall, Jared Buckendahl, Casey Cheeves, Anna Swanson. We've had those for a while, but we've got some new folks on the screen that we haven't shouted out, and we got a request to do their first shout outs on the live show. And the reason for that, for folks who don't remember, when we first started the Anchor Wankers, the deal was for every new Anchor Wanker that joined and started being a contributor, we would take a shot on the podcast. More specifically, I would take a shot on the podcast. And so the request was that I take all the shots for these new individuals on the live show. So that's what we're going to do here. And big shouts out to all these new folks who have joined us. What I'm going to do so that I don't die is I'm going to spread these out. I've got 5 shots to take for 5 new individuals, and I'm going to take them between now and the end of the show, but I'm only going to take one now. And Jared, can you bring that back up for just 1 sec? I want to see what the top name, James Halliday, who I will. So the new names, in addition to getting the shots, were a test from the individual who set these up. James Halliday is not the real name of this Anchor Wanker. Jared, Seth, do you know who James Halliday is? Who's this referring to?
I do. Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ready Player One.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding. You got it. Where's that thing here? Oh, where is it? What's that noise? There it is.
Ding, ding.
There we go. So, Jared, you got to bring me back, because if people don't see me do this, they're going to think I didn't do it. So I've got a nice, I've got a Smirnoff citrus vodka here, which is not my favorite thing to drink. And I also, Jared, this isn't you. You didn't buy this, did you? I don't know whose this is. It's at my house. I don't know.
That looks like something I would have bought though, because I drink vodka, so. Yeah. So got my shot right here. Shouts out first to Mackenzie. You don't want to see what was gonna. Honestly, I have to take these 5 shots over the course of the show, and I've got a bucket here. The 5-shot thing is going to be a test. So here goes number 1. Yum, 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 yum.
Smirnoff.
Dude, we could have done an unofficial shot ones right now and had you do 5 different alcohols.
We could have. Whew. As you guys talk for a second. Fuck.
For a second.
Jared's over there preparing for something we're doing later.
I'm doing, you know what, just like, it's funny because, you know, we don't see each other during this, so you're actually seeing how unorganized I am and how, like, I'm struggling to just scramble to get some sort of topic together for the topic that we're supposed to prep for and, you know, mentally get the reviews already and stuff. I can't hide that anymore. Plus, I can't be on my phone like I usually am.
Oh my gosh. Let's see who's now, guys. I don't know if I didn't do this so you could criticize my drinking abilities. Of course, I suspected that was going to happen. Mackenzie, you and I now have a rivalry. He's chasing the 1 shot. Mackenzie thinks that's pretty entertaining. Patrick, as much as we would like that $50, not going to chug the Smirnoff because, again, the bucket. I'd rather not. I'd rather end the show with an empty bucket. So I'm going to pass on that one. But more shots to come, and big shouts out to all of our anchor wankers. You guys are a huge help to the show. A lot of the new technology that we get, a lot of the new software that we get is paid for by that anchor support. So really appreciate you guys helping out the show. And for folks who aren't anchor contributors, if you're just listening to the show every week, you're helping us out as well. Every click actually helps the show. So we appreciate all you spending your time with us, whether it's just listening to us or whether you're live here with us right now. It means the world to us that you're listening, because we do this just because these are conversations we want to have anyway. So the idea that anyone wants to listen to them is pretty hilarious to us. So thank you all for being a part of this, because we're having a lot of fun doing it. With that, we're going to dive into the bulk of the show. We've got a couple things to talk about, and we're going to start in the world of movie news. Wrong sounder.
Oh no, that is not. Wow, that vodka's really kicking in already, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I'm fucked. It's gonna be bad. Here we go.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Movies.
Alrighty, we are in movie news. We're gonna talk about one piece of movie news this week that is actually, I think it was from last week, but it stuck out to us as something that seemed incredibly important and needed discussing, and we knew that we needed to bring our boy Tom out to be on screen with us for this. So the news, guys, we heard via an interview with, I think it was Michelle Rodriguez last week, that, do I have the name right? I hope I have her name right. She was interviewed, and as part of the interview, she revealed a secret about the upcoming Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know where
Fast
you're going
and Furious number 9. And I was going to say, we prepped, and we only did one news item. So I
was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So I don't know if it counts as a spoiler. And honestly, if you're the type of person that is like, oh, I don't want any Fast and Furious spoilers, fuck off. But we have a spoiler, and it's something that's been speculated about for a very long time. And that's that the Fast and Furious movies in Fast 9, which was meant to come out earlier this year, but it's delayed till next year, they're going to go to space.
Space.
I don't know how they're going to drive to space, but I guess they're going to figure it out. They're going to get Vin Diesel's ass probably in a vintage muscle car, and he's going to be floating around, pointing at the stars, checking out some nebula. I don't know, whatever you do in a car. In space.
An inch or a light year, winning's winning. That was a bad joke.
In outer space, no one can hear your family. So what I want to ask you guys first is, I know, Seth, that you're not as big a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. Jared, I'm not sure how much you've kept up. What do you think of this? This is a series that I feel like jumped the shark about 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a welcome thing for you, or is it like, come on, guys?
The thing is, I have seen all of them multiple times, I feel like. And yeah, I think Fast and Furious 5, when they're dragging the safe down the streets of Brazil, that's when they first jump the shark. And then they're like, we're going to take this car from this building to that building, and then we're going to get a tank, and then we're going to catch someone with the hood of my car, and they're not going to be hurt. So yeah, I feel like they're next. Well, I guess in the trailers for this next one is they fly off of a cliff and catch them with a hook. Or no, not a hook, but a jet. So I feel like you can only go to space after this, or down into like the ocean or something. Mm-hmm. I saw a tweet, and I don't know how real this was, but I think it was Seth Rogen. Someone was on like a writer's room, and they jokingly said, why don't we go to space? And one of the producers that's been on all of these films legit turned to them and said, not yet. So I feel like they've had this planned for a while, and I don't know how they're going to do it, because how are you going to get wheels? Like jetpack wheels? Like I don't understand, because that's the thing, is it's never let them in a car. So what are they going to have, moon rovers? I don't know.
They already had like pretty much superheroes.
Oh yeah, they added that one in.
I mean, they're going to do anything they want. I think the next one after space is time travel. I think they start doing some time travel.
Oh my god.
Yes.
What if they rewind and they time travel back to the first one, and it's Furious and Fast now, and they do them all again? I think the world would appreciate that. I feel like the world.
And they have to
as much
like
as
go.
I.
Go ahead.
Where do they have to go?
I'm just saying that they have to they go back in time somehow, but then they mess something up, so then they have to literally Back to the Future it, and they're like, I gotta go win this race quick. Or
I think that it could be like a time heist. If that they were gonna have to do. Maybe that's Fast and Furious 10. Patrick's saying maybe that's how they save Han. It very well could be.
Han Solo's in these movies now?
Well, I don't know. He was Han dead for a while. Now he's Han alive. I don't know if he's got a last name in the movies. I didn't watch them.
I haven't seen one since Too Fast, Too Furious. So I haven't.
Oh man, you've been out of it for a while.
You could have made that entire thing up, and I would have believed you.
No, okay, let's see here. 3 is Tokyo Drift. 4 is they go across the Mexican border. 5 is the Brazil safe. 6, I honestly have no clue. 7, I think, is Paul Walker dies. 8 is car-to-car building or a plane or something. Is there a 9 or is that 9 coming out?
Which one had Charlize Theron?
7? 7. Let's go 7.
Was it 7? Yeah,
maybe 8. No, let's go with 8. Let's go with 8.
9?
Because 7 was I don't fucking know. They all blend together. The thing is, they're all big explosion, loud noise car.
Well, what's funny is you remember them by set pieces, not even necessarily the plot. So, no. I mean, that's what Fast and Furious is. Much like our boy Tom down here, his movies. You go to the movie so you can see the big set pieces, not necessarily for everything else that's going on. And Fast and Furious they've remade a franchise with that ever since like the 4th or 5th movie. And Seth, I'm the same as you. I haven't seen one of these since number 2, but some of this wacky stuff has been making me think maybe I need to go back and watch through these. Are you feeling the same thing, or are you passing on them?
I mean, maybe someday if I'm really bored, but I mean, we talked about all the stuff we were going to do when we were bored during COVID, and I didn't get to any of it. So,
and it's been 6 months already.
Yeah. So, no, maybe someday I'll go back to it, but I just can't believe, and just thinking about it now, I saw the first 2, skipped all the other ones, but still saw Hobbs and Shaw, which, I mean, luckily I wasn't too confused by the whole thing.
Hobbs and Shaw.
But that was a good movie.
Hobbs and Shaw was nice. And at Hobbs and Shaw, that plus the space thing, like, I'm probably going to go see this. Also, it's got John Cena. And my time's not worth a lot. So I'm going to go spend a couple hours watching those guys drive some cars.
Yep.
Let's see here. We got Gina says, we're going to have The Rock in a spacesuit with no sleeves. That is fucking metal. I love that.
God, give me some release concept art of that right now.
Oh, no.
Sam's got for the new Fast and Furious. What is this? 3 times faster, 3 times furious, or 3 times family.
Gina has the winning one though.
Oh yes, that has to be to be the title. If not, or it has to be the tagline of the movie.
I would bet anything anyone wants to bet me that will be a part of the marketing. There's no way to pass it up.
If not, they're fools.
Yeah.
Tyler brings up a good point. If they go to space, they're probably not even going to wear spacesuits. They're just going to collect really hard, and they'll be fine.
The physics of the world and the properties, they're just going to make it up and be like, no, we don't have to wear spacesuits.
Yeah. Guys, the other thing around this was a question that came up, and it's one that I want the folks in the chat to answer as well as you two. So Fast and Furious, they made an entire franchise, and then they decided to go to space in order to rev things up, pun intended. So what other film franchises would you like to see go to space that haven't already been there? Drop those in your comments. What are you guys thinking? What's your first choice? Seth, I start with you.
I mean, I think my answer to these, like this movie in this situation, is always John Wick. I could totally see John Wick just going through an entire like spaceship or a shuttle or something, just taking everyone out, and then like there's no gravity, so he's fighting.
And the
midair.
bullet projects him around the room because the force from it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could totally see John Wick kicking ass. I want to see John Wick kicking ass in any situation, but zero gravity would probably be the best one.
Zero G, John Wick. John Wick was on my list. Jared, what else did you have?
John Wick's a good one, but for some reason, right when you said John Wick, I was like Rocky. But the thing is, follow me here. He has to fight on each planet, and each one has a different gravitational pull. So one might be he's really light, but the other one he's really heavy. Think about that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You You look so proud. Think about that. You look so proud of that bitch.
Well, now you know what I look like when I'm talking to you guys on the podcast. I'm doing all this. I'm like, ugh. Jared, it's only audio. You don't have to act.
Let's see. So for me, the choice is obvious, and it's this guy right down here, Tom Cruise. Honestly, it could be any Tom Cruise. It could be Jack Reacher, but Mission Impossible seems like the logical next. And frankly, it seems to me like Fast and Furious has won the space race between itself and Mission Impossible, because I feel like both of these franchises were bound to go to space, and Fast and Furious is getting there first. I can't wait to see Tom Cruise. The difference, I think, is Tom Cruise is actually going to go to fucking space to film it. And that's going to be pretty wild. So let's see what the folks in the chat are saying. Jurassic Park. Tyler wants to see some dinos.
I was going to say that one as well. The thing is, what I'm thinking is somehow they take off and it's like a spacecraft, like 5 people, but there's only one raptor, and it's like Alien, but with a dinosaur.
That would be, I feel like a raptor would be pretty good. But if you're not a pussy, why don't you just put a T-Rex in the,
it won't fit.
In the space station? We'll get a bigger space station. Make one up. Passengers is being talked about in the comment. Put a T-Rex in that fucking spaceship.
Yeah,
Gravity. Yeah. Patrick, I don't think has seen Gravity. You might want to check. You might want to check that one out. Sharknado in space. I've not seen any of the Sharknado movies, but I'm not surprised to hear that David Hasselhoff in space has already been a part of that one. Gina has The Notebook. Take the rom-coms into space. That'd be an interesting one. I think Tyler Vandenhall might have the winner, though. SpongeBob SquarePants in space. That would be... I would line up for that. I would watch that. Because SpongeBob... I feel like they've touched on this in SpongeBob, because when they go above water, they've got to wear the helmets and everything. And so I feel like that's similar. But they would have to wear a water helmet and then an air helmet. And I think that'd be hilarious. I'm in for it.
Well, I mean, there's that episode where SpongeBob actually does go up in a spaceship and thinks he's on the moon, and then nets everyone, and then flies to the moon. So yeah,
and he crashes up on top of the. That shit is fucking hilarious.
Your guys' SpongeBob knowledge is way deeper than mine.
Yeah, man, come on.
You just didn't. That's a problem for you, not us. Home Alone, Sam. That would be a good one. Home Alone. Maybe one kid in the space station trying to defend it from aliens or whatever the hell else. That would be pretty good. Gina's gonna have to explain Shrek. I don't really know what Shrek is gonna do in space. The docu would be pretty fun. Let's see what else we got in here. Steven Seagal. Barreto brings up Steven Seagal in a space movie. That would be pretty cool. I'm just a cook. It could be above the law too, way above the law. Who else do we got? Halloween, Tyler. That is one that I was thinking of as well. We had Jason X took Jason Voorhees to space not long ago.
We had Leprechaun in space.
Leprechaun went to space.
From the hood to
taking
the
Mike
space.
Myers up there. I think they're gonna have a hard time getting Jamie Lee Curtis in that one, but I would still watch it.
Spaz.
Gina, the animals still need oxygen, so that's why they would need an air helmet, in addition to their water helmet. And there's no oxygen up there, so that's why that is. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Rambo, that's another good one from Tyler. Any action hero needs to go to space at some point.
Jingle all the way in space.
Jingle all the way in space. There we go.
Would that be
Jamie? Jamie, it's me, Jamie.
Turboman.
I've got you a Turboman dog.
Turboman.
Jamie, put that cookie down.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to see Sinbad in space, if that's the case. Ooh, that rhymed.
Ooh, if it's the space case. We got some other ones in here. Seinfeld. What's the deal with the sponge with 2 helmets?
What's the deal with the space station?
Gina's on fire. Mr. Bean in space would be pretty good. Lots of great ones in there. Grease.
Yeah.
A lot of these are great suggestions. I don't know if any of these are going to get greenlit, you guys. But I will say this. We did this entire segment just so I could make and play this sounder.
Yes, we need to go to space.
which I've been wanting to use for like ever, and we finally found a reason. So if you catch me trying to force it into different situations,
yes, we need to go to space.
Just know that's why. I'm just really happy.
Works in
really
any conversation.
Yes, we need to go to space.
It really. I was going. I haven't told you guys this yet, have I? I went to get some groceries. This was over the last weekend, and I walked in, and there's this woman standing there, and she just looked at me, and she went,
Yes, we need to build this space.
God.
The thing is, I knew it was coming, but it was. God damn it.
What I love is usually when I'm making that type of horrible pun, I can't see you guys, but I could see Seth like, and I see Jared like, oh, I get it before I even
I knew where it was. I knew it was going before you even hit the sounder, because I knew you had that sounder.
Oh my God, you guys.
wow.
Well, we talked about Fast and Furious going to space. We talked about what our favorite franchises were going to be in space. So that's going to wrap us up this week for movie news.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Movies.
Gina dropping some facts. I don't go to the store.
So that's the most truest thing that's ever been written on a YouTube comment.
Yeah, so it was pretty easy to tell from jump. I need to do a rewind here because I forgot to mention before we went into movie news that we've got some voicemail to get to. So this is another feature of Anchor. And again, no matter where you're listening, you can always head to our Anchor page. It's one of the better places to interact directly with us. And one of the ways that you can do that is if you go to the page, you can leave a voice message for us. And we've been putting the call out the last couple weeks for voice messages. And the promise was, if you leave us a voice message, we'll play it. So that's what we're going to do. We've got 3 voice messages.
Do you have a sounder
and
for
so
this?
No, I don't have a sound for this, I don't think. So yeah, you can put that up. Before we jump right into voicemails, I don't want to get behind on this, so I'm gonna take another shot here. Again, I got my trusty Smirnoff. I'm not changing for you. Smirnoff citrus flavored vodka here.
Ooh, a nice citrus flavor. Ooh.
Cucumba.
It's very, very citrusy. And yes, Mackenzie, I will chase this one too.
Ugh.
Not good. Not good.
I got whiskey. You got vodka.
Yeah, there we go. Jared, can you show me the list of Anchor Wankers? I want to know who that shot was for.
Boom.
Ah, yes. Our good friend, Georgie Denbro. Seth, I think you know where that one's from.
Mm-hmm. It's from damn it. I mean, I know what it's from, but I really wanted to make something up. From It, correct?
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Georgie from It Chapter 2. Very popular character. A lot of people know Georgie.
Hey, Georgie.
So shouts out to you, Georgie. Thank you for becoming an Anchor contributor. Let's turn to the voicemails here. We've got a few folks that we're going to hear from here, and we're going to start with our friend Mike, not of Mike's Wood, but rather of Mike Media Inc. I saw him in the chat a little bit earlier. I think Mike's joining us. We've been playing some Fall Guys with Mike on the Twitch with Jared, which, by the way, if you're on Twitch and you're not following Jared,
at Jared Buckendall,
get over there, get on the JBuck Twitch stream. And Seth and I are often playing with Mike and with a few of the others. Patrick, who's been in the chat as well. Yeah, but none of those guys left a voicemail, so fuck them.
I'll press it to start it. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. Push the button there, Seth. You got it.
You ready?
Go.
Yeah, what's up? It's Mike Hayes from Mike Media Incorporated. And I just wanted to say, y'all been on a roll lately. I've been listening since like the 145th episode. And, obviously I interviewed Cody, but I'm just saying, like, you guys got to figure out a name for JBuck. He's like, you got to call him like the Buck host or the fuck 'em all host or something cool. So, JBuck is basically a host by now. And,
he sure is.
You guys have a great chemistry. You had a great thing going on. And I'm hyped for the live SoCo shows too. That's going to be so cool, by the way. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, man. See you. Keep it on. Keep on keeping on, as Joe Dirt once said.
Yeah.
Wise words from your boy
Hell
Joe
yeah.
Dirt. Mike, you were wrong about one thing. You said the live show was going to be awesome, and it's this.
It's spectacular.
But he does get at something important, and we've been talking about this for a while. We need to come up with a name for Jared. Mike recommends the Buck host. What do you think of that one, Jared?
Sure. I don't know. The thing is, I have like you guys, the host, the co-host. I have the JBuck host. You know, like I don't have a good.
So
the Buck,
that gets
the Buck host, maybe, yeah.
The Buck host is That's an.
The JB,
I'll give you an alternative.
I don't know.
I'll give you an alternative, and I know this doesn't exactly fit with the rest of the convention for how we came up with our names, but for rhyming sake, what if you were the Joe host?
Sure. I don't know.
JBuck.
JBuck. Yeah, the announcer.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need to keep giving out. What do you guys think? Hit us in the comments. What do you think? We got the host, the co-host. What should we be calling Jared during all this, other than dickhead? How should we be referring?
The host. Does that work?
Host.
Host?
The host. What's your middle initial?
The Jehovah Witnesses. It's J. So JJB.
The
JBuck.
Why couldn't you have just had a fucking O in your name? You don't have a single O.
No, I didn't buy that vowel.
It's horse crap.
Yeah.
It's BS. Well, we got Buck host. We got Joe
the
host.
bro host. If so, I can't wear sleeves during recording.
Oh man.
And I have to be slamming frat sodas the whole time.
Oh god.
And I gotta change my first name to Chad.
Chad Buckendall.
Bro host is getting some traction in the comments. It's getting a second. Mike says it's good. Seth, you seem to like Joe what was it? Bro host.
God. Yes, I like bro host. That's a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
You're the bro host. Booyah.
If I had a gavel, then I'd bang it.
I wonder, do we have something over here that's going to...
I mean, we have Kyle's court.
It's going to lock us in. There we go, yeah. There we go. Uh-oh.
I hereby decree you as the bro host.
You hereby, I bequeath you the bro host.
I'm glad you queefed on me.
Yeah. Anytime you want me to queef on you, I will certainly do so. So we've got a name for Jared, and I'm glad that we landed on one because I had one that I didn't want to go to, and I had it as a backup in case no good names came up. What do you think of this one?
Squirrel nuts!
Can we go back? I want that one.
Squirrel nuts!
I hereby am called Squirrel Nuts. Oh my god, wow. Whew. Okay.
Oh,
I've been sitting on that one for so long. And I have been so excited to use that. Oh my god. I am tearing up and everything.
Oh wow. Wow, dreams do come true.
Jared, can you name that movie?
Can you play it one more time?
I'll tell you what, I'll play it.
Squirrel nuts!
And do you want another hint for the movie?
Sure.
What do you want, boob?
What do you want, boob? Is
Same
it
movie,
is it Scott Pilgrim?
No.
No, it is not Scott Pilgrim.
Do you know who?
Is it Sex Drive?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Damn it.
Do you know who sang Squirrel Nuts?
No.
It's David Arquette.
Oh, is it Ready to Rumble?
Nuts!
Yeah.
Ready to Rumble?
is,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I haven't watched that in probably 10 years.
It is ready to rumble. We're not playing a game, so since you got it.
3 for the win! Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
There you go. That's what we play for our winners around here. Guys, let's get back to the voicemail. All right, we're getting off track here. We got another one. This voicemail comes to us from a friend of the show who was recently a guest, as recently as I think last week's show. Here's Lindsay Monday.
Oh, sorry, gotta press it.
Hello, SoCo Show. It's your favorite guest here, Miss Lindsay Monday. So as we've established on a podcast earlier this year, Cody and I have been friends for 10 years now. I've known Seth almost just as long. I believe I met him 6 months after meeting Cody. So we've known each other for a long, long time. Cody and I prescribe to the theory that you can have more than one best friend. So him and I are best friends, but Seth is also one of his best friends and probably his oldest friend. I believe he predates Brett McShane, Biffle. And so, yes, we've known each other for a long, long time. So my question is for Seth.
Oh, no.
Hey, Seth.
What?
Out of all of Cody's exes, who's your favorite?
So, a couple things. I think Mike V would fight for this honor.
I think Mike is the older one.
I think Mike V of Mike's Wood might be my oldest friend, but it's pretty close. And we're talking about. I mean, we all met in like 1999, so it's. Forgive me for not remembering.
It's a good year.
The exact. Oh, it's a great year. The Matrix. Are you kidding me? Fuck. So Seth, Lindsay is alluding to. So what folks need for context is. When Seth and I used to live together, it was a lot of the relationships I were in were like thruples, where Seth was a big part of those relationships, not in any physical way. But,
not that you know of.
He's that cuck in the corner.
Oh my God. I'm in the corner just by myself, and Seth is in the ring going, oh, I missed a sounder. Seth's in the ring saying this.
I am the queen.
I might not be the cream, but there might have been some cream.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's nasty.
Jeez, I don't like that at all. So Seth, we're gonna spin the clock back here, and
oh my God.
Now before you make a choice and elaborate too much, just remember that my current boo, who is lovely and wonderful, Gina Christopher, is in the chat. So don't fuck me here, okay, Seth? What's your answer to Lindsay's question?
I plead the fifth. or I can just say the fifth girlfriend. Whatever the fifth girlfriend is, just go with that.
I think I know the fifth one.
The fifth one was good. And then not. Yeah. Which is pretty much the same for all.
She sounds nice.
There we go.
She sounds awesome.
Bretto just bailed me out with a good one there. I'm his favorite. I'm the favorite of Cody's exes.
There you go. Seth is, you know, when you have a love like Seth's and mine, and you're, you know, life forces you to separate, that love doesn't die, you know. So every new person I date, it's just I still love Seth, but then also that new person, and Gina understands that. So I know that we're in good shape. Let's see here, guys. We got one more.
Hold on. Look at Mike's comment.
What is Mike saying? That is, I'm not even going to read it.
Wow.
Because it's the most, well, I guess for our audio only people, I should read it. Mike says, when I first heard the show, I thought Seth and Cody were a gay couple, which is not, it's not an uncommon question. It's one that we've gotten before, Mike.
And most people who saw us walking down the hall at the beginning of each new school year thought the same thing, but you know.
Yeah, you hold hands with your best friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hold hands with your best friend for like 6 months in school, and people think you're dating. What the hell?
Yeah,
I don't get it. Let's go to another voicemail, and this one's interesting. I'm not familiar with this individual, but we have the voice of Stitch. So this is Stitch.
Wait,
leaving us a voicemail
from Disney's Lilo and Stitch.
I mean, I guess we're gonna have to find out. Here we go. Seth, hit the button.
Hello, Stitch here. I'm just calling with a question. I want to know if you guys have to watch one TV show only for the rest of your lives, which TV show would you pick? Tell me.
Wow.
You know what's?
Oh my God.
So Stitch calling in from Hawaii. Very nice to have our Hawaiian listeners leaving us voicemails. We'll get to the question in just a second. What I don't think Stitch here realizes is how much I love cutting sounders out of people's vocals when they didn't know what was happening. So thank you, Stitch, for a couple sounders that I'm going to pull out of that one. But let's answer the question, guys. If you could only watch one TV show for the rest of your life, Seth, I'll start with you. What TV show would that be?
The Lilo and Stitch animated show from Disney.
Dude, that was a good show. Where every week
choice.
they go and capture a new experiment.
Is that really what happened? I didn't.
Yeah, I watched it a lot actually.
I never watched it. I just said that. No, I would choose. I'd probably choose that 70s show. It's like the easiest watch, and there's a lot of it. It's like, and it makes me laugh every time I watch it.
That 70 show is a good one. I feel like there's the group of like the great half-hour sitcoms. Is that where you're going, Jared, or where are you thinking when you're talking about the only show you can watch forever?
That is a perfect one because that was my daily routine. 4 o'clock after school. I mean, sure, I think is it the last or second last season isn't great because they replace Eric Foreman, but my God, yeah, every episode is great and there's tons of them. Oh, man, I don't want to do that as well, but
I mean, you could do that and I'll do The Office. I mean,
okay, yeah, there we go. Because I mean, otherwise I'd say Parks and Rec. I like that one.
I feel like any of those would be good for me. But for the sake of variety, I'm actually going to say How I Met Your Mother. I've seen it through a couple times, but I've not seen it a million times. Like that 70s show, I know most of the episodes, and Office, I know most of the episodes. So I feel like if I started now, I would get more novelty out of How I Met Your Mother more than the other shows. But let's see what folks in the comments are saying. Barreto says Always Sunny. You could start from season 1, and the rest of your life would be over before you got done with It's Always Sunny. So you have plenty of time to watch all those.
One other one I just thought of too, which I think might even be the perfect one, is Scrubs, because it's hilarious every episode. It's usually sad in every episode at some point, and you can learn things. Like if this was like the apocalypse and you needed to know medical stuff, you could maybe get some stuff out of it. I heard it's like the most accurate of the medical shows, at least. So,
My favorite part of the cut-ins. Those are, I think, the most medically accurate parts.
So you're saying that Scrubs is more medically accurate than Greg's Anatomy?
I don't want to watch Greg's Anatomy.
I have a lot of questions about Greg's Anatomy. Like, like
Mr. McDreamy and whatever his name is.
And McSteamy. There's some anatomy.
Yeah.
Please show me your dick.
That's a lot of folks. A lot of folks, inquiring minds, want to know, what does McSteamy's pecker look like? Oh my gosh. Let's see. What else are folks saying? Well, I'm gonna pour myself another shot so that I continue to stay on pace here. You guys read a couple of these comments. Let's see what some of the other folks are picking for their shows.
So it's looking like
Curb.
Sam is saying Curb. Have you guys seen Curb? I'm a fan of Seinfeld. I've just never watched any of Curb though.
I've seen a little bit of Curb and really enjoyed it, but I've not gotten really in the groove to watch the whole thing, which is nice because I know I have that. I can go to that if I want something to watch.
Mike coming in with Friends, How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang. I don't know about Big Bang. That's for me.
Big old bang, Theory.
Big old bang. Gina's coming in. Mama. Gina's coming in hot with apparently the rest of your life you can just watch One Piece. 1,000 episodes. Isn't that dude where he's like a pirate and he has stretchy arms?
I would watch a stretchy arm pirate for the rest of my life. That sounds interesting enough.
Stretchy pirate. And then Dan is saying Greg's Anatomy has 1,000 seasons.
Greg's Anatomy. So there was a time when I was in college that I got into Grey's Anatomy.
It's Greg's Anatomy.
This wasn't number 5. So it wasn't someone. It wasn't the ex that Seth was referring to before. But a girl I was trying to impress liked Grey's Anatomy, and so I started watching it. And I started watching it in like season fucking 11, and watched it for like 2 seasons, and then stopped. And like that little bit of time was, I thought, really good. But now they're in like their 40th season, so I find it hard to believe that someone's gonna watch all that.
You know what? You bring up a great thing. So, aside from Grey's Anatomy, have you watched things just to try to be on the same level as like a Crush or something?
Oh, yeah. The Walking Dead is another one. I watched season 1 of Walking Dead, and then I watched season 2, and I hated season 2. And so I stopped watching it, and I didn't talk to that girl anymore.
Yeah, I binge watched all of Lost in 1 month. because I thought I had a chance with someone. It didn't work out.
That is,
yeah.
At least you got to watch Lost, though.
Yeah, but after like season 4, then they're just they fall apart because the writers strike. They don't know what they're doing. The hatch, you already know what's in the hatch.
It's let's see, what are folks? We got some stuff. We got some Grey's Anatomy spoilers. Watch out for Grey's Anatomy spoilers in the chat. If you're keeping an eye on there, Friends. A couple options for Friends. The reason I didn't pick Friends is because if I only watched Friends for the rest of my life, I would never see another black person. And that would be really distressing. Friends not known for its diversity.
I was gonna say, how many black people are on that show actually?
I can think of one, and it's Ross's one girlfriend, who's I think played by what's her name?
She hosts
Tyler?
all the video games.
Tyler,
She hosts all the video game stuff,
and she's the voice, one of the voices on Archer.
Yep. Gina brings up Avatar: The Last Airbender. That one's a solid one. I didn't enjoy Korra as much. I kind of fell off of that one. Sam bringing up Veronica Mars, which had the reboot, I think, on Hulu not too long ago. And Sam says, surprisingly decent, which I hope is a review we'll someday get for this podcast. Surprisingly decent.
Have you heard of the SoCo Show? Yes. It's surprisingly decent.
We have one more voicemail to get to, but I want to shout out another anchor wanker here. Jared, can you show us the list one more time here? All right, Jonathan Phaedrus. Does either of you recognize that name? Do we know who Jonathan Phaedrus is?
Should I? Have I read it?
You should, Seth.
So are these all books?
Yes, these are all characters from books. And I don't know about you, Jared, and I don't know how much you read. I actually don't know if you can.
No, I can't.
Jonathan Phaedrus is from a book that Seth has read and really enjoyed. I'll give you a couple guesses.
Is it?
I'll even hit you with one of these.
I have no idea.
He doesn't know it. Do you just want me to tell you, or does Mike? Mike, if you're still in the chat, Mike, tell us who Jonathan Phaedrus is. And Jared, take us back. I gotta.
He's saying that you mentioned it last week, apparently, Seth.
Last week.
Ooh.
Is it?
Say it.
Oh.
Do it.
Is it in the Reckoners books that I talked about?
Reckoners.
Is it really? Okay.
It is in the Reckoners. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who it is. Oh, sorry. Tyler corrected me. It's Phaedrus. That might have been why you didn't get it. Jonathan Phaedrus. The pronunciation wrong.
Maybe. No. I mean, it's been a while. It's been several years.
It's been a while.
Been a while.
All right, guys. We got one more voice message to go to. Gina's giving me shit again. One more voice message to get to, and this we don't have a graphic for this because it came in right at the last minute. We got a new voicemail.
We got one last one.
So here's a friend of the show with one final message for those of us on the SoCo team. Here we go. Celebrate good times, Lou rocks. Oh hey, shit stains. Some loser DM'd me on Insta and said the show that I made famous was having an anniversary. And while Lou's been keeping silent after some recent backlash, I couldn't think of a better excuse than to roast your asses like a couple of succulent hams. Honestly, I have to say, I'm shocked you guys have been sucking this long. 3 whole years of wasting everyone's precious seconds. You started with doing 50-minute shows, and now you're subjecting people to a painstaking 2 hours a week. You morons just keep smacking your lips and making those stupid sounds you call a speaking voice, but no one cares. TV Corner this, Iron Sheik that. Are you guys on acid or something? None of this shit makes any sense. The only smart thing you guys did was add that James Buckendarts guy. He's smarter than you wusses, and is also a subscriber and patron of my Intercourse podcast, Lou Holt's Sex Spiels. James is always asking for my tips in the sack. Well, deadbeat, looks like that's my time, but I'll leave you on this one. I said certified freak, 7 days a week. Wet ass pussy. Make that pull out game weak. Lou. Adios, assholes. So that is the voice.
Oh my God. I need to shower.
Lou Holt is never shy with the dirty material.
Oh, that's nasty.
Talking about his sexy podcast that he hosts. Sam recognized Lou right away. Sounds like Lou Holt swallowed Cody. That's exactly what happened. I was swallowed by Lou Holt.
Ew.
That is what happened. Lou Holt hasn't swallowed yet. That's why he sounds like this. Wow, Lou Holtz. It's been a long time since we had Lou on the show. So great to hear from Lou. Thanks for the shout outs, Lou. Appreciate you lending your voice to this week's show. Let's see what is going to be next for us. This is going to be really fun, guys. So we are going to jump forward into a segment we haven't done in quite some time, which is why I need to look on the board for the sounder. Here comes a brand new edition of Mambo number 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
All right, folks. So if you have not, if this is your first time and you haven't heard Mambo number 5, or if it's been a while and you forgot, this is, we're going to do a countdown. We're going to do a list, and it's typically a top 5 list. Seth, Jared, and I will each have a different top 5 list. And for this occasion, we decided that the thing we wanted to count down were our top 5 movies from the run of the SoCo Show. So for folks who who maybe haven't been following us since week 1, our first show came out a couple weeks after Spider-Man Homecoming. And the first thing that Seth and I ever did was a ride home video, which was right here on the YouTube.
At Jared Buckendall.
And it was the ride home from Spider-Man Homecoming. And so from that time right up until Tenet, which we all just saw in the theaters, we're going to be counting down during that window. We're going to be counting down our top 5 favorite movies. And I'm very excited to do this. Guys in the chat, let us know what you think of our picks. Let us know what you think your top 5 would be from the summer of 17 through the fall of 20. And Seth, I think you can kick us off here. Let's go. Seth, why don't you go first, and then I'll go, and then Jared. So okay. Seth, why don't you kick us off with your number 5 here?
I gotta stretch out the old vocal cords. I haven't done this in a while.
That's right.
Number 5. Nope, that didn't work. Number 5. How was that? That sexy?
That was perfect.
All right, good. So I'm gonna clarify, like I often do with Mambo number 5. This isn't necessarily the movies I think are the best movies, because when I usually do the top 10, when I do my top 10, it's a mix of like the ones I enjoyed the most versus what I think were the best, and it's kind of like a combination. This one is gonna be more like I've seen all these multiple times, and these are all ones that I'm like I have very fond memories looking back, and again, like every time I rewatch them, I enjoy them more. So that's kind of what my list is made of. So number 5, I did have this as my number 1 movie the year that we started doing top 10s. That's Logan Lucky. That's what I have at number 5.
That one, ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, this is one I've rewatched a whole bunch. It's still a great like heist movie, hilarious, amazing characters. Channing Tatum and Adam Driver are both awesome in this. It's such a unique movie while still being something that's something you've seen before in terms of the heist, but everything else around it is very unique. And I think it's my favorite use in the last 3 years because it's been used a lot of Country Roads, the John Denver song. Mm-hmm. So, Logan Lucky is my number 5.
Logan Lucky is a great one. And I think it appeared on all of our top 10s for that first year for 2017. It's a movie that a lot of people haven't seen, weirdly enough. So if you're in the chat and you've not seen Logan Lucky, seek it out. It's very, very good, very funny, very heartfelt. And it's a very good heist movie. So you're going to love this one. High recommend from us. I will do my number 5, and I see some folks making some guesses as to what I'm going to have. Dan, I'm sorry. Arrival came out before this time period. Popstar, I'm not sure of, but it didn't make my list. I won't say much more because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody else.
That was before the podcast started.
Yeah, that was before.
Yeah. So my number 5 movie, which featured on my top 10 from last year, and I was much like Seth. these are my favorite movies, the ones that stuck out, the ones I've gone back to, and or the ones that made me feel the most. Because as some folks in the chat know, I am at times an emotionless rock, and I am at times an incredibly emotional person. And I like to be incredibly emotional when I watch my movies. So these are the movies that made me feel the most emotional during this time. And so for my number 5, I had to go here with Avengers Endgame. This one stuck out from last year. And again, critically, was it the best movie I thought from last year? No, but it does stick with me. I've seen it a few times since, and there are parts of it that still get me every time. The action scene from this still get me standing off the couch. And especially now, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, the showing up of Black Panther at the end to join the fight is like, I'll probably never watch that scene again and not cry. So I love Endgame. I thought it was a great finale to the Infinity Saga. So that's why I've got it as my number 5.
Okay, so are these best or most fun? I guess I'm confused here.
I put
you
favorite.
can do either or both. Whatever you want, whatever your criteria is fine with us.
Okay. I'm gonna go with most fun or like theater experience or whatever. I'm just scrolling through all the reviews that I've done over the last couple years. I'm gonna say Ready Player One. Because, again, I didn't read the book, so I'm not as tied to the lore because I know some people, there's that disconnect there. But, man, seeing that in the XD theater with that opening scene and also the end scene and the shining scenes and whatnot, like, that movie is just so much fun. Like, that's one that I turn back onto every now and then, and it's just like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this movie. Sure, maybe there's, some parts of it that aren't great, but I'm looking for a fun movie. That's what I'm going to turn on.
You just saying, so one, you got to listen. I mean, listen is what I prefer to do, but you could read if you wanted to.
I can't read, remember?
That's right. You got to listen to
audibletrial.com/SoCo.
Hit the link in the bio.
Mike just said it. You got to listen to the first one, and then the second one comes out in like 2 months, which just reminded me of that, and I got very happy. So I can't snag a PS5 in fucking time for November, so I might as well read Ready Player 2.
Oh no, I didn't get a PS5.
I sent you a link.
I couldn't use it.
Mommy.
Oh, wow. So
That's right. I'm going to escape the world in my Oculus Quest 2. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
There you go. We'll get into virtual reality. We'll be right in the world of Ready Player One. It's funny you said this, Jared, and I saw Seth react to you seeing it because Seth and myself, we didn't enjoy that movie as much, and I think it was partially as a result of our expectations from the book. And because you didn't have those expectations going in, sounds like you enjoyed it a lot more, which is good for me to hear. I'm glad that you liked it more than us because they did get a lot of things right and they did a lot of things well. And I think for someone who hadn't already read the book, it's really easy to dive into that world and have a lot of fun. So that was, I'm glad that you enjoyed that one that much.
Well, what the thing is, like I watch so many darn movies, so it's hard to like see a movie twice. I think I saw that movie 3 times in a week because I went by myself. Wow. I took my brother and then I took my sister and Nolan. So like I saw it 3 times that weekend.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, man. Ready Player One. If you got a question about that movie, ask JBuck. Seth, I think we got to move on.
Number 4. Number 4 for me. I remember this because I saw it on my birthday, and it was just one of the most fun theater experiences I ever had. It is again, I was going to make something up. Magic Mike 2.
XXL.
Yeah,
dude, that dong swinging scene.
No,
please show me your dick.
There you go. The movie is actually Searching. It's
a good one.
Didn't have it, Cody?
Say it again.
Didn't have it on your list?
Didn't have what? Searching? Oh, yeah. No, it's not on my list. Sorry.
Okay. You looked like you were about to say something, so I didn't I didn't know what was going on there.
Oh, no.
No, Searching, again, John Cho. It's the movie that takes place inside of essentially a computer, but then also a couple other screens. His daughter goes missing. It's such an intense movie through. Mike says the dick counter is at 3 right now, and that is Lou Bega. This is the Mambo number 5 for those. Is that who Lou Bega?
Yeah. Art. This is Lou Bega.
But no. So it takes place all within the screen. His daughter's missing, and it's such an intense movie. part of it I think is because you just feel so trapped in that whole situation with him, because it's just, you're one-on-one pretty much the whole time. Crazy mystery, what's going on here? You're trying to figure it out the whole time. There's Easter eggs hidden throughout it. It's such a quick, it's a tight movie. It like just moves so fast. It's one of my favorite movies. I've rewatched that a couple times now too, and every time I'm always finding something new, which is something else I love. Searching is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that one's a banger, certified. I remember going. You talk about Dan referenced Wet Cody's, which Wet Cody's that's a rating system for how much I cried, how wet my face is at the end of a movie is how many Wet Cody's, and Searching had some Wet Cody's. That was a really, really fucking good movie. If you haven't seen that one, high recommend. My number 4 is another one that I don't think a lot of folks saw, but it did get some attention around Oscar season just this past year. My number 4 is 1917. And this is, for my money, it's the best war movie I've seen. And I know a lot of people will talk about Saving Private Ryan or Apocalypse Now or Full Metal Jacket or Hacksaw Ridge is another favorite of mine. But 1917 for me, because it puts you right there in a single shot, the whole movie, it really gets you immersed in that whole world. And you get to see what's happening to these main characters and feel it along with them, just like you're standing there. And you talk about Wet Cody's, there's not a scale for this. I cried for like a day and a half after I saw this movie. And that's in part because this is a military movie about a guy going to save his brother, and my brother's in the military. So I know that I was maybe a little more susceptible to this movie than others, but this one fully got me. And just the technical expertise with which it was built. I think it was robbed of Best Picture last year. I don't recognize whatever it is they picked is not my Best Picture. It was 1917 from last year. So that's why it was my number 4. I liked a couple movies better because I had more fun with them, but I think this is probably the best movie on my list.
All right. So I was going through my list again, and this is definitely not on either of yours, but this was
Boy.
I wrote that down. I did not pick that one though. Serenity. This movie.
Oh my god! Really?
This movie was such a swing and a miss that I loved every second of watching the disaster that it was. If you people aren't aware of this one, it's Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jason Clarke. And this twist, I could give you 100 guesses, and you will never guess what this movie is even trying to do. And I think that that's why I liked it. Because, Seth, you said that you, didn't you yell at the screen or something watching this movie?
I was by myself in the theater.
Yeah.
And it's definitely some of the most fun I've ever had in a theater, just because I was able to emote to my heart's content.
Yeah, so I think that that's why that one hit, because someone had kind of hinted at something, and I was like, okay, I'm going to figure it out before it happens, and I didn't even get close, and I think it was just the swing and a miss, but watching the journey of how, on a piece of paper, maybe this sounded good, until what was shown on screen, you're like, oh god. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was a fun watch. I'm not saying that it's a great movie, but it was fun.
A lot of bad reviews for that one, including mine.
Yeah.
We hated it. That's a movie where the twist either causes you to love the movie or hate it. And Jared loving it. And here's what I think Jared has to say about that movie.
It don't get no respect.
So thanks for giving it the respect that it so rightfully deserves. So Jared's list so far is Ready Player One and Serenity. So I'm so excited to see where Jared's list goes from here. But Seth, we got to get on to our number 3s.
Number 3. Number 3 is my favorite movie from last year, I believe. Ford v Ferrari is what I have here. This had everything I wanted in it. Amazing acting, intense driving. It moves. The pace was, again, super fast. I love super fast-paced movies. It's shit that drags out. I don't need that.
You'd love Fast and Furious.
When I'm going to the theater and I'm seeing when I'm seeing when I want to see a big action movie, I want it to be fast paced. But some of the indie movies, I will turn that back a little bit. Some of the indie movies, I do enjoy the slow burns. But anyway, Ford v Ferrari was not that. Super fast, great sound. That my chair was rumbling. The only time since then that the sound has been more intense was Tenet recently. And that's probably because I was like one of a very few amount of people in the theater, so like all the sound just vibrated to me at that point. But no, Ford v Ferrari, just a great story. It'll get you in the feels too. It's funny. I mean, all around, I think it's one of my favorite movies ever. I like Ford v Ferrari a lot. Number 3 for me.
Expertly done, Sam. Sam says it is a long movie, but it's one of those long movies you don't mind because it gets you quickly through the action. And to see that in a theater, I saw it in IMAX, and I was like, it felt like I got off a roller coaster at the end of that movie. The way that they shoot the driving scenes, and Christian Bale is so great in that one. That's a really fucking good pick. That was high on all of our lists last year. Sam talking about 1917 and finding out about Kobe on the same day. That's a rough fucking day, man. That would have been shut down for a couple of days after that one. Let's see. We're on number 3 here. My top 3 are going to surprise nobody. My number 3, actually, it may be a surprise that this one's as low as number 3. But my third favorite movie from the last 3 years, Mission Impossible Fallout. This is, and I saw this with you two guys. I had a point. And you guys know how excited I get for Mission Impossible movies. And this is one that I got so incredibly excited for. I was like doing this in my chair when they played the theme song at the beginning of that movie. And then it never disappointed. It was awesome from second one when they have the opening scene with Wolf Blitzer all the way through the end. There's the crazy action. It, to me, seems like the pinnacle of what Mission Impossible is so far. And it just makes me that much more excited to see what they're going to do from here. But I think in addition to the crazy stunts and things that get all the press, this actually just is a movie with an interesting plot. And Tom Cruise, I don't think is ever going to get credit for his acting in these movies, but I thought he was really enjoyable. I think they've built an ensemble cast around this franchise that's going to continue to give us some good ones as long as Tom Cruise doesn't kill himself jumping motorcycles off of mountains. So number 3 for me, Mission Impossible Fallout.
You know, the worst part of that movie was that the next day we went and did go-karts, and you were just flying around the thing because you were hitting us all. You were jumping out of your cart and jumping into our carts. It was a mess.
Yeah, you were punching us. It was a hectic time for sure. My number 3 is going to be this one kind of seems out of the genre I usually like, but I had a fun time with this one. Ready or Not. This was again a very fun movie. I went into it not really knowing what I was going to get, and I thought it'd be more of a horror movie, and it was scary and whatnot, but it's more of a kind of a thriller, survival, final girl type movie. And Samara Weaving, very much enjoyed her in this role, and it toes that line of kind of seriousness but slapsticky, and that is again just a very fun movie. If you guys haven't seen that one, go out, see this movie. I don't even want to say any more about it because it just surprise yourself with it, because the less you know, the more enjoyable it's going to be.
It's a delightful movie, very fun, and fans of non-horror fans like the two of you historically, I think in general have really enjoyed this because it's got it's got a strong protagonist that fights back against what's scary. And I think that allows it to be accessible from people who didn't like horror. But Seth, you've been such a big fan of this. You've been a huge fan of Samara Weaving ever since that one.
Yeah, this one barely missed my list. I have watched it a few times since it came out, and I mean, exactly what Jared said. It's I mean, same thing. It's funny. It's also, kind of it's gory at times. It can be a little jump scary at times. And it's got an interesting premise to it as well. So, it's a great one. Barely missed my list.
The ending of that movie is not what you expected. It's another one of those you could guess the end, and you could guess it 100 times, you won't get it. So we have that rounds out our third pick. So we're getting into our top 2 now, Seth.
Number 2. Well, that was right at the same time. That was perfect.
Look at this audio engineer over here.
This one is the most recent one I've seen, but it came out a couple of years ago, and it would have made my list when it came out. It's Hearts Beat Loud. This is one I haven't been impacted by a movie like this. This probably would be number 1 if I had rewatched it more. But I'm kind of saving it. But I was having just the worst. It was right at the beginning of COVID. I was having a shitty day for a bunch of reasons. And I just came home late on the couch, and I was putting something on to fall asleep, and I just didn't end up falling asleep because I loved it so much. Since then, I've I've listened to the soundtrack a bunch. I've watched certain scenes again. I've held off from watching it all just because I want to save it. But yeah, it's Nick Offerman, Kiersey Clemens. Basic story for those who didn't listen to that episode and haven't seen it, because it's a movie that not a lot of people seen. The Kiersey Clemens plays Nick Offerman's daughter. She's about to go off to college, and they in the past have done music together, and they do like jam sessions and things like that. They create a song that gets popular. Nick Offerman is a failed musician as well. He's had a couple things, but not too much success. And this is the biggest thing that's ever happened in terms of hit music. He wants to chase it. She doesn't know if she wants to. There's some love stories involved in there as well. It's got Toni Collette in there as well. So really, Ted Danson as well. So really good acting, really good music. I love the music. And it's really sweet, and it'll bring some tears out of your eyes. It did for me that day. So
same here.
I love that movie so much. One of my favorites.
This one got some wet Codys as well. This movie probably, I think if we said, what's the SoCo shows, the three of us collectively, what's our favorite movie that we've seen as a show? I think that would be a candidate, because you watched the movie that day, Seth, and you sent it to Jared and I and said, you guys should watch this and let's talk about it on the show. And all three of us on that next episode just totally filleted that movie for like 40 minutes. And it's a simple little movie. There's nothing extraordinary about it. It's just such a nice movie, and it's great. Everyone should watch it. I mean, it's really nice. Hearts Beat Loud, which I think you're gonna have to find on a VOD platform, but it's a really, really good one.
I think again, I'd have to check. Yeah, Hulu. There we go. I mean, I said in that episode that if this movie was one I would have watched in high school, it would have changed my whole trajectory of what I chose to do at that time, probably.
Yeah, love a good movie.
I mean, I think because this year hasn't been great for movies, this is definitely the best movie that I've seen this year by a lot. Like, looking at my top 10, I've ever since being able to go back to the theater, I've been updating my list and all that stuff, and I'm just like, man, none of these are really sticking out to me a whole lot. And I think my favorite movie I've seen this year is something I watched on Hulu, and so and that came out this year anyway. And so, this is a movie that like can stack up for me against any year of movies, and I love it.
It's funny, like Seth's list includes Ford v Ferrari, huge movie, huge budget, lots of effects, loud movie, and then also Hearts Beat Loud, which is comparatively a very quiet, timid movie, and it just goes to show the diversity of types of movies that we all like. So I am a very predictable person because I always tell people how much I love movies. So my number 2 has been guessed. In the chat, my number 1 has also been guessed, but I don't think either of these two are going to surprise anybody. Mike V got it. Booksmart is my number 2.
You're going to kick the can.
You got to kick the can? Okay.
Yeah.
We're kicking the can.
All right.
Booksmart. For those who haven't heard of Mambo number 5, kick the can means that Seth also has this on his list. And so we need to wait to talk about Booksmart. So I will pause and we'll go right over to Jared. What's your number 2?
Oh God, it's kind of a toss up here. I'm going to say number 2. Even though I'm going on the trend of being fun movies, I don't think my number 1 is going to be a fun movie. I'm going to say number 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
All right. You're going to need to shut your mouth right there.
Okay.
We're kicking that can.
Okay.
And that gives us a lot of clues. Not a lot if your ability, if you are able of using the process of elimination, a lot of our number 1s, but Seth, let's jump into them.
Number 1. You know what? You're the one who, I mean, I like Booksmart a lot. My number 1's Booksmart. And again, this is because I've seen it a lot since it came out. I've watched it, I don't know, probably 10 times in part, like seen it all a bunch, as a whole, but then a bunch in parts. So probably 10 times in total. Super funny, super heartwarming. I mean, you can't even say it's the girl version of Superbad because it's its own thing, I don't know. Cody, you're the one who typically encapsulates that movie. So you go ahead and go for it.
I love it so much. I think what's common among all of us is we really, and I think it's one of the really universally loved movies. Mike, by the way, deserves a free code to Booksmart for winning our Oscar games.
He actually just said, "Did I ever get that code for the movie?"
Mike is in the chat like,
"Give me what I want."
I'm pretty sure I sent that to him. I mean, I might not have though. I mean.
I think, Seth, you touched on something important. Like, it gets a lot of credit for being the ladies' version of Superbad, but it's not that. I think it's just the updated version of Superbad. It's the 2019 version of Superbad. And there was that time period between high school and college is such an emotional time for a lot of people. And for like us, that those are movies that we gravitate toward. The joke that I've been making is that in like the last 5 years or so, you've seen a lot of new representation in movies and a lot of things that have come out. And even though all of that is happening and I'm more represented in film now than I have ever been, Booksmart is the movie I most relate to that's come out in like a decade. And so I don't know if that makes me a teenage white girl or not, but love Booksmart. Expertly done. The two leads in here are fucking perfect. And there's not enough good things. If you haven't seen Booksmart, fucking as soon as this podcast ends in a little while, go over and watch that movie. It's incredible.
And I have a download code. Just go ahead and ask for it, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, there you go. Whoever comments in the chat can get the comment or the free code for Booksmart. There you go.
Well, not only are the leads wonderful, but all of the side characters bring their own flair to the movie.
God.
Skylar Gisondo.
Dude, Gigi is my girl.
Yeah.
That's one of the best gags of the movie is just Gigi and everything she does is so fucking perfect.
Yep.
Can't wait to see what and all of the main cast of that movie has gone on to do more stuff. So what's really been cool in the past year or so is seeing what projects they're now being a part of and how that movie has opened up some opportunities for them to get a kickoff of their career. So very excited to see what everyone involved in that movie does next. My number one, as I've said, has been guessed several times in the chat. I don't know if you guys want to say it with me. My number one movie is Into the
Spider-Man. Hey, I'll swing the cranes over for you.
It's one of us. You mess with all of us.
I mean, I don't know what I need to say about Into the Spider-Verse that hasn't been said. It's the most, for my money, it's the best Spider-Man movie that we've had. I would put it up there against almost any superhero movie in general that we've had. I think it's got heart, it's got comedy, it's got danger, it's got the dopest fucking soundtrack. Gina pointed out in the chat, I love movies with good soundtracks, and Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best. Miles is in there introducing a new Spider-Man. It's very creative in what they do with the universe jumping, and the way that they did this with the animation was so different and so immersive that it felt like a different experience entirely. I've gone back to watch this probably a dozen times. There are scenes in it that I laugh at every single time. There's scenes in it that I cry at every single time. For my money, this is perfect movie. If you said, Cody, what's a perfect movie? Spider-Verse is that.
How would your mom review it?
She would say, I laughed, I cried, I was mad, I was sad. I just went through every emotion.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, Cody, I think you pretty much summed it up perfectly. I just love taking a property, essentially, and doing something a little bit different. You know, obviously, Miles Morales has been around via comic books and stuff, and we haven't gotten that on the big screen. But now I think that has ignited, like, more Spider-Man. Give me more of this because, you know, the video game's coming out and whatnot. But I mean, I just love... You know, even the switch up of the villains and stuff, where Doc Ock is a woman and stuff like that, where I just love that switch up of something you've seen time and time again.
Give me more Spider-Man.
Give me more Spider.
Give me what I want.
And it's Spider-Man.
Don't you hate it when what is it? I hate it when boys text me and demand naked pics. Because when I text them back, I'm demanding pictures of Spider-Man. And it's fucking J. Jonah Jameson slamming his fist. That's probably butchering the meme, but a lot of folks. So, Jared, we're gonna go to your number one here. We've heard a couple of people theorizing in the chat about some snubs. So you might have a chance here to save one of those snubs. What have you got as your top movie?
Yeah, I'm seeing people in the chat say Baby Driver is a snub. I'm sorry. There's someone in that movie that I cannot put that movie as number
Technically
one.
two now.
Yeah, two. Wow. Oof.
Oh,
Man.
yikes, yeah.
Yikes. It's funny because all my other movies were fun ones. This one, I guess, wouldn't be essentially fun. There's fun parts to it, but this movie just hit me perfectly because I was like, wow, this is kind of my life, but I, changed things around a little bit. Brittany Runs a Marathon.
Yeah, that one barely missed my list too.
Yeah,
Very nice.
This movie, I mean, that year, I think it was my number one. Was it last year, I believe? Number one, I think it's just the thing is I found the parallels that everything in that movie connected to certain things in my life and people that I know and how I personally had been feeling at that time. And literally the last 20 minutes of that movie, I am just sobbing and crying, but happy, tears of joy. Like, the movie theater, there was only a handful of people in there, but you could hear everyone sniffling and crying and be like, oh my God, it's such a good movie. And that's the thing is Jillian Bell, like I only knew of her through Workaholics and stuff. And I was like, okay, whatever, we're going to get that. And you kind of get that, washed up, almost 30-year-old character, finally get their life together, go after something, be motivated essentially. And, It's one of those movies where I honestly have only gone back to once, but I think that every time I watch it, I kind of get that, that fire, that spark again and be like, okay, let's do this. And then I find Cheetos again and, spiral and start playing Fall Guys every night again with you guys. So, but no, Brittany Runs a Marathon, people. Go out, watch it. It's wonderful.
I think it's on Amazon.
So good.
Yeah, Prime.
Yeah, I think it's been on Amazon Prime. You can go check that one out. If you got Prime, you can watch it right now. Mike says he went and watched that one because he heard us review it on the show. So that's great. Glad you found your way to that. Dan referencing the bird.
Put the
poncho.
jacket on.
I was gonna.
Yeah. 4 minutes before we went live, you mentioned it. I was like, go get it.
I just didn't. I don't have access to it where I'm currently at. So
yeah, he's being held in a bunker somewhere.
That's in an undisclosed location. If you want to see the bird poncho, you're going to want to come back for a future episode of the show because I'm sure that will be featured at some point.
And it's
want to ask you guys
Shot
this.
Ones as well whenever those come out.
It isn't Shot Ones.
Which I haven't been. There's supposed to be a trailer. Spoiler, there was supposed to be a trailer that dropped tonight. I did not have enough time to make that trailer.
Let me ask you guys this. I think one of the movies that was talked about in the chat that made none of our lists was Knives Out. And I enjoyed Knives Out quite a bit. Didn't crack my top 5. Was it close for you guys?
No, I mean, I liked it. It just wasn't, I don't think it was even in my top 10 that year. It was good. I enjoyed it. It just didn't quite hit the level of enjoyment that I had with some of the other ones.
I think it was one of those things where I don't know if you guys have gone back and rewatched it, and maybe I'm wrong compared to other people out there, but I watched it a second time, and I was just kind of bored because I'm like, I know where this is going. I think a lot of that movie is not knowing the mystery and whatnot. So if there was a way to go into a movie and like erase that bit of my memory, I would love it. But it's like,
Serenity.
Well, I already know. Yeah, Serenity. There we go. I know where it's going.
I have watched it a second time since then, and I had a lot of the same feelings. Dan in the chat, the mule was snubbed.
Yeah,
that was
2 threesomes, right?
If we did a list of how the movies we hated the most for the last 5 years, I think the mule might be featured there. I liked Knives Out. It didn't. I think for me, what it lacked was an emotional connection. I thought it was really expertly executed. I thought it was a great mystery. I wasn't so. You think about the rest of my list, they all had characters that I was emotionally invested in, and that just wasn't the case here. It just felt like there were people I was rooting for, but I didn't really connect with any of them. And I don't know that the movie was trying to do that, but that was what was missing for me. That's why it's not on my list. Mike wants to know about Star Wars. I have a hard time with Star Wars because If Force Awakens had come out during our run, it would have definitely made this list. Force Awakens is probably my favorite Star Wars movie, and really, really enjoyed that one. The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I really, really loved. but they weren't transcendent for me in a way that like all the 5 of these movies I'll watch once a quarter for the rest of my life, and I don't think I'll go back to Star Wars that often. Like it just doesn't. Sam's talking about another one in there, Dunkirk, which I liked a lot, but it's one that doesn't, much like Knives Out, not a good rewatch movie. I saw it the one time. I was glad I watched it. It fucking destroyed my body when I watched it. Seth and I were fucking distraught when we left that one. And it's really impactful, but it doesn't, it's less, they don't focus on any one character. So I found it harder to follow emotionally than 1917. So I would put it very high in my war films. It would be very high because I think of the technical aspect of how they put it together was really, really good. Mm-hmm. But in terms of being a favorite, it's not one I anticipate going back to.
It's funny. Mike just said, "Oh God, I didn't realize Force Awakens was 5 years old."
Mm-hmm. Dude, it is.
Yeah.
5 years this Christmas. Crazy.
Yep.
Grimace.
It's not really a movie, but John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch. I love that shit out of that. That is a great one to watch. Yeah, that's a great one to watch with some recreationals.
There you go. Recreationals should be involved if you're going to watch the Sack Lunch Bunch, which is on Netflix right now. You're going to want to check that one out. All I know is that for all of these movies, you could say the same thing about all of them.
Guys, it's all my top movies of the year.
So high praise for all of these movies. Jojo Rabbit getting a shout out in the chat. That's a delightful one. Didn't crack mine. So a lot of great stuff here. Not fantasizing, reminiscing about the last 3 years of movies. These are all movies that we reviewed on the podcast that Jared has reviews for on right here on this YouTube channel
at Jared Buckendall.
So if you want to hear what more in depth about what we thought of these, look back to the SoCo library or look right here on the JBuck page, and you're going to find reviews to all that stuff. So check all those out, and that's going to wrap us up this week for our Mambo number 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
It's been a long time since we've done that. We got to do Mambo more often. That was fun.
Yeah.
So we've got a little bit of time left, and we've got some movies that we're going to review. And then we want to do one more thing, as we typically do, and then we'll get to some wrap-up. So we're going to try to get you out of here by the top of the hour. So we're going to move quickly through some movie reviews here. Let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 movies to move through. So we'll go quickly here. But let's start, Seth, with you. And I don't know how to set you up for this movie because I don't really know what it's about other than this.
Squirrel nuts!
So, tell us how that is relevant, please.
There's the review guys down here with me. Hanging out.
Yeah.
Put my arm around him. What's up, dude?
Yeah, there you go. Scoot over a little bit. Give him a nice smooch. Give him a nice kiss.
Where am I at? There I am. Bunny ears.
Woo.
Oh, you know what? Mike V in the chat just reminded me. Seth, you're gonna go into your review for this movie,
left.
and I'm gonna take my shot during this review. So you go ahead.
Okay, so Squirrel Nuts, that's David Arquette, and the movie I'm talking about is, David Arquette isn't Squirrel Nuts, but he said that. It's called You Cannot Kill David Arquette. So this is a documentary. It's about David Arquette. Of course, we talked about Ready to Rumble. That's a wrestling movie about pro wrestling. Specifically, it's WCW wrestlers back in the early 2000s, which was kind of the height, late 90s, early 2000s of wrestling, and especially WCW. And at this time, to kind of promote the movie, he won their world championship. And everyone pretty much in the wrestling world says that it's like the worst thing that ever happened to wrestling. And so ever since then, the wrestling community has hated him, but he loves wrestling. Like he'd made the movie because he loves wrestling, and he feels bad about tainting the championship and all that stuff. So in the last several years now, David Arquette has gotten into crazy good shape and trained to be a wrestler, and this is about that. Within the last year or so, he was involved in what's called a death match, which is these. I mean,
they murder each other, right?
Pretty much. I mean, people who watch wrestling, most people who watch wrestling hate these, but then there's this weird, crazy part of the audience who loves them. And I mean, it's they are hitting each other with like fluorescent tubes and taking the ends of it and like cutting their heads with it and like using like barbed wire ropes and getting caught up in the ropes with their necks, and their necks are getting like cut up, and it's fucked up. But anyway, so this is about that, but then I mean the death match kind of, but his career in wrestling, but also his acting, because they parallel his acting career with it and basically show that because he did that one wrestling thing and he won the title, that it essentially ruined his acting career. And he was on the cover of a magazine with like Leo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt and like all these stars, it was like the hottest young actors. There were like 15 of them. He was on there, and within a year or two, because he did that wrestling thing, he was nothing anymore. And so he's still to this day, he's in his 40s, and he's still doing auditions, and he has this name and everything, but it's about that too, because his career is, all careers essentially are kind of not ruined, but very, it took a huge step down. So it's about that as well. It's really interesting. I mean, he talks about his battles with addiction and things like that too. It's actually a really good documentary. I mean, it's got a little bit of a weird flair to it because of the wrestling stuff in there, but it's really an interesting documentary. So I guess if you're a fan of his in any way, from Scream, because I mean, obviously he was in Scream, and that was a big part of his career. If you're a fan of wrestling, whatever, it's an interesting one to check out.
Boom. That is You Cannot Kill David Arquette.
You cannot.
So check that one out if you're a fan of David Arquette or of the pro wrestling. Jared, you were not a fan of this next movie. We're going to get a little bit of a preview of something that I believe the official release is this weekend.
It's coming right for us!
So give us. This was a disappointing. We've already heard your YouTube review
at Jared Buckendall
of this movie, but give us a taste. This was a disappointing one to hear about.
Which one are we talking about? Antebellum?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie actually comes out tonight at midnight or 2 a.m. or whatever. So if you want to check it out, go do it. Otherwise, there will be ending explained poorly that I am going to pull an all-nighter to finish by tomorrow. But yes, this Antebellum movie was one that was supposed to come out in April, been pushed, because of COVID and whatnot, and they're dropping it on premium VOD. Janelle Monáe is at the forefront of this movie, and it's tough to, Tyler Calvert's jumping in here with the, Antebellum, because we both watched it. It is tough to kind of explain this movie without any sort of spoilers, but essentially it is this movie that takes place during present time and also potentially the 1900s or the 19th century, during Civil War and whatnot. So Janelle Monáe's character kind of is kind of kidnapped and thrown into this other timeline because in present day, she's very much, this she's like a sociologist and, has a book and, kind of famous and whatnot. So this movie is that's what the trailer tells you. This movie is nothing like the trailer, essentially. This movie is god-awful. I'm just going to straight up say that. Janelle Monáe is the saving grace of this movie, but literally, I was 65 to 70 minutes in this movie, and I'm like, is anything going to happen? Are we going to try to connect anything? Because the first 30 minutes kind of sets up one thing, and honestly, that first 30 minutes could have been 5 minutes, and then it goes over to the other thing of 30 minutes, and that could have, again, been another 5 minutes. The people that did this, I think it's first-time writer-director of a big feature and whatnot, and I understand or kind of see where they tried to go with this, but honestly, it is just so ill-conceived of showing something that we know is already happening or happened at that time over and over and over again without a payoff that shows you or gives a reason to show. I mean, essentially, there's brutality, there's sexual abuse. Like, it's all these black people at this time that are being taken advantage of by white people, and you're like, where's the payoff? And the thing is, there is no payoff. There's no, lesson. There's no silver lining. It's just like, that's the movie, and you could just turn on the news and get the same reaction, essentially. So this movie is awful. It's I said And maybe I was being a little, over the top, but I said that this is one of the worst movies I have seen this year.
Yikes. That is, it's harsh, but
Loser.
that's why we come to you, Jared, because you filter out some of the crap so that we don't have to see it. This is a movie I was excited for, so I'm bummed. But
and that's the thing. I was right there with you where I saw the trailers. I was like, oh, there's some sort of big, like, there's a lot going on in this movie. There's not.
Nope. Before we go on from this one, here's my shot. This one is for Neil Danielson is the next one. And I know who this one is. I'll tell you in a second.
Neil Danielson. Who is he? Yum, 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 yum. Are you chasing that with more vodka?
Yeah, this is vodka too. Neil Danielson is from the Fear Saga, which is a series of audiobooks that Mike V from Mike's Wood, have both listened to, which is incredible. It would be like the best if Netflix or HBO were to make a serious drama show out of that series with a budget. It would be the best thing you fucking ever seen. It's one of my favorite, like, massive, big scale stories that I've ever been exposed to. Incredible audiobook. So that's where Neil Danielson is from. It took me a little while, Mike, to come up with that, but I got it. Seth, let's talk about one that you and I saw this past weekend that was a pretty pleasant surprise. This is Broken Hearts Gallery. The Broken Hearts Gallery. It's a rom-com. And it stars Geraldine Viswanathan from Blockers, and you've seen her in a couple other things, as well as Dacre Montgomery, who is from Power Rangers, as what's the other one he's in? Stranger Things. Yep, he's the hot lifeguard in Stranger Things. And essentially, Geraldine Viswanathan is a art curator who wants to own her own gallery, and she ends up filling a gallery with tokens and bits of saved memorabilia and things from past relationships. And so her gallery is like, oh, here's a shoe that my ex left at my house, and then like the story of that relationship. And it catches a lot of people's attention and builds this kind of movement around her, while at the same time she is engaged in this romantic will they won't they thing with Dacre Montgomery, who owns the building she's putting the gallery in. This one, it's weird because I can't tell you a lot of specific things about this, but it was just a nice rom-com. It was just fun and light and cute, and it wasn't cheesy. The leads had enough chemistry, and it was just fun. Like I just was never down in the dumps about it. It was just always peppy. If I have a complaint about it, I think it tried really hard to be 2020 woke, and there was a lot of like things that seemed like they were kind of jammed in. But in general, this was just a really nice current 2020 rom-com that I feel like anyone can enjoy. It's not such a cheesy rom-com that you're going to hate it for its cheese. I think it nailed what it was going for, which is just a nice little outing. Great for a date movie if you want to take someone to that. Seth, are you in agreement there?
People shouldn't be going on dates right now, Cody.
Well, fair point.
No, I think a couple things to add. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I thought it was really funny too. There was some stuff I laughed out loud several times throughout the movie. There was a point I actually remember. There's one joke in the movie. I won't say it, but it made me laugh. And I saw this alone too, so I was being a little more animated with some of my laughs. But I let all my inhibitions go. No one was around me. But there's a point in the movie when something really funny happens that kind of takes a turn into maybe a little bit more like raunchy or like kind of unexpected. And from there on, I was like, okay, I'm totally in with this movie. And then also, Jaren from Brittany Runs a Marathon is in this briefly. He's pretty funny. I can't say his name, and I don't know if I can try. There's from Booksmart actually, AAA. Molly Gordon.
Yes.
She's in it. She's hilarious. And then there's a character. I haven't seen him in much, but Arturo Castro is the guy's name. He plays fucking Red Ranger's friend in this movie, and he is nice. He is hilarious, and I hope he's in more stuff because he is extremely funny. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing I took away with it is there was just so many really funny jokes throughout it. I was laughing the entire time. And I mean, again, because of how much crap has been out this year, it's in my top 10.
Oh, dang.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. And to answer Dan's question, I did not fully shave my head, but it was on a low guard. I just did it today, so. It's a fresh cut.
Getting cleaned up for the show. I like that. One last cast shout out on Broken Hearts Gallery. Philippa Sue, who played Eliza, who is Alexander Hamilton's wife in Hamilton.
Oh, God.
She's in this and plays a really cool character. I liked her a lot, and I have to mention Hamilton on every episode. So that's.
I'm surprised you haven't done a Hamilton sounder yet.
Yeah.
I'm once I start, I won't stop. So I'm trying to prevent myself from doing it. I'm gonna cut one or two movies out that we'll save for next week, guys. But let's go now, Jared, to you. Here's a pretty highly anticipated movie with a lot of stars in it. Is this a Netflix movie?
Is it The Devil All the Time?
Yes.
Yeah, so this one came out yesterday. It's a Netflix movie. It's I would say that they could potentially use this for a couple performances, maybe Oscar worthy. You know, this is kind of that prestige movie once we're finally getting into that time of year. Did either of you guys watch this one?
Not yet.
I have not yet.
Okay. I will say off the top, this is a slow burn movie. This is not your kind of action. I don't know. Some people have texted me and said this movie sucked. I really enjoyed it. It's a slow burn movie. It's very much a storyline of, and this doesn't know justice, but it's kind of like, you know, he's just not that into you, with a bunch of people that have connections, their stories weave together, and you find out how or why. But it's very much more in the tone of the, what's the one with Ryan Gosling, the Pines movie?
Oh, Place Beyond the Pines?
Yes, there we go. This movie resembled or reminded me of that movie, where it's taking place over like 15 years, and it's seeing these people, how they interweave with one another, where Tom Holland and his father was over in war, and how that and religion had really tied into his life and whatnot. The performances from almost everyone in this are top notch. I mean, Tom Holland, Jason Clarke, Sebastian Stan, I think Lily Collins and Haley Bennett, I believe, are also in this one. Wonderful. Oh, no, not Lily Collins. Riley Keough. There we go. Again, everyone is great in what they have to do. Even Robert Pattinson, he has this like southern not high pitched, but I guess I read a thing right before we got this. He didn't get a dialect coach. He's like, I'm going to teach myself this southern draw accent, and it's very unique. But he's this like southern preacher and whatnot. So the performances are wonderful, but it's like taking place in this this small kind of area. It's a small town. If you grew up in a small town anywhere, essentially, it's the 1950s, and it's in a town called Knockemstiff, which I just thought was funny because my brain is, yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I reacted every time they mentioned it. But it takes this interesting look at religion, essentially, of like, hey, all these religious people, all these people that are saying that they're the praise Jesus type people, you find out that people that go to church every week, potentially, are really bad people. And it's this interesting thing of using religion as using faith. You're talking with, you know, God as an excuse for these horrible, horrible things that you do, but also an interesting look of how those people practice or get close to the Lord, essentially. This movie, again, slow burn movie. I think that it's a well-acted, well-crafted, wonderful, like how they weave everything together. Sure, some of the storylines, because you're juggling a lot, seem to not really tie in the greatest with everyone or the other storylines. But yeah, this is a recommend for myself.
Nice. I'm excited to see this. The cast has me interested, and for you to say that the performances are good, that's going to get me there. I'm going to try to check this one out this weekend. I'm debating whether or not I want to throw to you for this last one, Seth. Do you want to do it now, or you want to save it for next week? I
can do it really quick. I don't have a ton to say.
You got it. Another Stranger Thing connection here.
Yeah, and also a David Arquette connection too. That's one of the reason I wanted to bring it up, is because he's in it. But yeah, it's called Spree. There you go. It's called Spree, and Mike Media has been talking about this one for a while. I believe it's him, right?
Yeah,
I was talking about it. Okay. But Spree. So David Arquette's in this, but it does star Joe Keery, who is in Stranger Things. He plays Steve. He's a struggling YouTube guy, or kind of like YouTube, essentially like a influencer type guy. Doesn't get a ton of views, but is always looking up to people who do get those views, and he's always trying to get more and more and promoting himself and whatnot. He's got some interesting stuff going on in his life as well, and he's also what is essentially a Uber driver, but it's called Spree, and hence the name of the movie. And he pulls a stunt through this Spree app to. Yeah, no, not 10-second movie review.
10-second. Mike V's calling for it, Seth.
It'll be done in quickly though. Yeah. But he pulls a stunt using the Spree app, and he uses his social media and wants to essentially goes on a killing spree, is what you'll see in this in this trailer or from the description of the movie. Goes on a killing spree using the Spree app and using cameras and whatnot as he's like live streaming it essentially. And that's the gist of the movie. So I mean, from there you'll understand where it goes based off what's happening. But it has an interesting cast, like, because it's a funny movie at times. Like there's some funny things that go on, but then it's also kind of messed up too with what's going on. So it's an interesting mix of like a horror and a comedy. Has Shazir Sameda from SNL, Kyle Mooney from SNL as well. Like I said, David Arquette, Misha Barton's in it as well. There's a weird cameo by Frankie Grande, who's Ariana Grande's brother.
What? He wouldn't meet my days.
I know him from his season on Big Brother, but and Cody does too. You watch that one?
Yeah.
It's an interesting movie. Like, they take some chances in terms of the style of the movie they're going for. Again, it's pretty funny at times. And it's a pretty quick, like, hour and 40 minutes or so. But I would say, I mean, give it a shot if you're looking for something to watch. If you're a fan of kind of like a horror comedy movies, kind of like in the vein. I mean, it's not the same movie, but it's got the same tone, I think, in a way of Ready or Not. It does make some points throughout the movie in terms of like how people react to influencers and that type of thing. So that it does make some good points there too. But I thought it's definitely an interesting watch. So I appreciate the recommend by Mike Media.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Mike Hass. Thumbs up for Spree, which you can go check out now. That's going to wrap it up this week, guys. We got thumbs up on a lot of movies here. Broken Hearts Gallery, You Cannot Kill David Arquette, Spree, and The Devil All the Time, all getting recommends, but avoid Antebellum at all costs, according to Jared. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's reviews.
Mom, what do you think?
I love it! I hated it!
All right, folks. Well, as you know, we're just about to the end of our show, but before we go, I want to leave you with one more thing.
Well, I'm down to one more thing.
All right, guys. So for my one more thing, there is a video from Paul Rudd that I wanted to shout out this week. So Paul Rudd essentially put out a video where they where he's trying to pitch wearing a mask to young people. Is what he's trying to do. He's trying to connect with Gen Z and tell them that he needs to that they need to wear masks. And all I'm going to do is play just a quick little couple second clip from this, audio only. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to go find the rest. Search Paul Rudd mask video, and you're going to find this. It's everywhere if you haven't seen this. I'm just going to play you a few seconds here.
So fam, let's real talk. Masks, they're totally beast. So slide that into your DMs and twitch it.
It is.
I also loved when he did the reenactment of him and the Sean Evans guy from Hot Ones. The look at us.
Yeah, and they're eating with the mask on, or trying to. Yeah.
That shit. Paul Rudd is a national treasure, and this video is 60 seconds of hilarious, perfect puns about Gen Z, and I'll post the link for the folks who are listening later on. You can go find this one, but highly recommend you go check out 60 seconds of just perfect fucking comedy. So go check that one out. That's mine today.
I still think there's something like hidden with him because like he's hilarious. He seems super nice, and he's 50, right? And he looks like he's 30.
Damn
so, like,
right, man.
He's got to be doing something that's like just the worst. It has to be like just the worst thing you can think of that he's doing right now.
What would you speculate?
I don't even want to get into it.
Okay. I was gonna say because my lawyer says we have to say allegedly after everything or before everything if we're gonna talk about that. Legal trouble, yes, people. My one more thing. I'm gonna say PlayStation 5. They did a showcase yesterday, and it looks flippin' bananas. I know Seth is fuming because of pre-orders and whatnot. Basically, the PlayStation 5 looks awesome. I'm very excited for it. I want to get more into gaming because I know the last couple years I just haven't had much time. Nothing's really reeled me in, but this I'm very excited for. And unfortunately, pre-orders were supposed to go live this morning. Someone botched it and just said, F it, whatever, we're going to get some monies, and did it yesterday. And I actually did, Seth, we were going back and forth, Cody as well, last night about pre-orders. Did you know that Walmart just tweeted a shh sign, and they were the ones that kind of started this? Like,
of course it's fucking Walmart.
And they... people were speculating that they're like, oh, if retailers do this, is there any backlash? And they're like, no, they still get the sales. So I think that Walmart was one of the first people that started it, and then it just kind of cascaded from there. But yeah, I had one in my cart last night at Best Buy. I had one in Amazon. Finally, this morning, I think it was, or late last night, some random Twitter account sent out some random link, and my brother, he works in tech, a guy saw it there, sent it to him, sent it to me, and it was the disc one. I mean, I know that some of you guys out there, I don't know about you guys, want the all digital version. I want the disc one because my brother, we can share games that way. So yeah, it just popped it right into my cart. I clicked boom, fingers crossed I have it. It says I have it, but the thing is, you know how pre-orders are, they can essentially drop you at any point. So fingers crossed I have one. I'm looking forward to it. We will see. But, the next level of gaming, I got to get a 4K TV now and have Seth come here and program.
You need an 8K TV if you have a PS5.
I need to get a better TV, and then, Seth, you come here and program what colors I need because apparently my colors on my TV are completely effed up because you come here and you're like, oh, what is this garbage you're watching?
Yeah, I think that's probably my plan, honestly, is to wait at this point and get an 8K TV at the same time because they're coming down in price. So I've been on this page all day, if you can see it.
Oh, no. Just
refreshing the Best Buy page, just hoping. But now it's not working. One thing I did buy in Best Buy yesterday, though, a great company in Facebook and Oculus. Maybe not a great company, but a great
Facebook
product.
has never done anything wrong.
Never. Not once.
A great product that Cody and I both have is the Oculus Quest. We have spent hours and hours. It's probably one of the best $400 investments I've ever made. And I invested another $300 into the Oculus Quest 2, which they just announced yesterday. Updated graphics. They said it's 50% more pixels and whatnot than the current Quest, which is the only complaint about the first Quest that I have is that it doesn't quite live up to some of the the VR headsets that are up now. This will get that a lot closer. The refresh rate is higher, better controllers, more comfort. And it comes out in less than a month, and I cannot wait to play this. This will be what tides me over while I don't have the PS5. The only thing I hope is they increase the battery life because the
battery
Quest
life wasn't great.
No, because Cody and I would play for 2 hours into some Echo VR, and we could have gone for multiple hours past that. So, but no, I'm very excited to be getting the Quest 2, and maybe I can hopefully watch some movies in it and stuff like that because the first Quest was not great for that, and I think this will improve that too. So, I'm very excited to check this out. I'll definitely be reviewing it in a few weeks when it comes out.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this. I have mine pre-ordered as well, so very excited to check this one out. Let's see what folks in the thing are saying. Seth, you have a huge chair.
So,
what is going on?
Seth is 5'1", so we actually all have the same chair. No, that's not true.
This is actually so it's like a camping type chair, like an outdoor zero gravity chair thing. Then I just put a sheet over it because I wanted to make it look like,
gotcha,
not too dumb.
Mike B in the chat here. You know what they say about guys with big chairs?
Please show me your dick.
Oh my god, we got a lot of PC gamers, PCMR getting some shout outs.
What's the MR stand for?
Chat. I think Master Race.
Oh.
Someone's gonna need to correct me on that.
PC Mister.
So I just got a PC that's capable of gaming, which I'm very excited of. Dan Rodert in the chat, who's also Casey Cheeves on our contributor list. He set me up with a new PC that is gaming capable. I have not dove in yet to everything and taken the plunge on any PC games, but I'm with you guys. I'm going to join you guys on a game sometime soon. So a lot of exciting things here. We got Paul Rudd, we got gaming, we got VR gaming, and we got PS5 this week in One More Thing.
But I'm down to one more thing.
That's gonna do it for this episode number 161 of the SoCo Show. Before we go, as you guys noted in the chat, I have one final shot to take. And this one goes out to,
and I'll finish my drink.
This one goes out. There we go. Tyler Vandenhol, thank you
left.
very much for your contributor status. We appreciate you. This one goes out to you. Thank you.
Yum, 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 yum.
It's like warm for me.
Man, you're going to have a tough day at the office tomorrow since everyone still goes to work in a building. Well, okay, Cody, what was worse? What was worse? The shots you took tonight or shot ones?
Shot ones, I like shot ones better, honestly.
Yeah.
So there were more flavored shots. This was the same shitty shot I didn't want every time. I will tell you guys that I'm fucked up. Like, I'm gonna go to sleep after this.
Oh God.
But before I crash and pass out, we got to wrap the show up here, guys. A couple notes before we go. Let's see here. First of all, definitely want to shout out our sponsors. Okay, so you saw them all before: Anchor, Mathis Designs, Cornfed and Wed, NPA, of course, and Room 56 Studios as well for supporting the show and helping us. I mean, you guys, this show doesn't happen without all those people. Our profile pictures and graphics are done by Steph Lloyd at Steph Mathis. Sorry, since you got married at Mathis Designs. Jared and NPA at Studio 56 have been instrumental in putting this together between the new theme and all the graphics that you see here. Anchor for keeping us going on our podcast platform. Every one of these sponsors is incredibly important. Please use them if you can. If you have a reason to use our sponsors, please do. Show them some support. Big shout out to all of our Anchor wankers. We really appreciate you guys. It's one thing to listen to us every month. It's another thing to pay for us. And while we think you're exhibiting terrible decision making, we certainly appreciate that you're sending a couple bucks a month our way. And it really is so we're so thankful that you guys are willing to do that. And I will say, I mentioned it a second ago, but Jared, you've been such a huge part of the live show, and we are here on the JBuck Studios YouTube channel. So for folks who are here for the first time or who are already fans of yours, what can folks look forward to here on the JBuck Studio channel page?
For the next couple days, Antebellum ending Explained Poorly. I'm going to go make some coffee after this and just pull an all-nighter. And then tomorrow, fingers crossed, it works. I haven't tested it yet. But I'm going to be trying to, because I'm going to go pick up in the morning the Mario All-Stars 35th 3D, whatever, and stream some Mario 64 over on Twitch.
Which one are you doing? Oh, Mario 64?
I'm going to start with the first one, and I've never played Odyssey or Sunshine, so that's why I want to knock the one that I know where everything is out first, and then just stumble through the other ones. So fingers crossed, my Switch has the capabilities and everything.
Well, I'm coming up to Des Moines sometime, and I'm gonna play the hell out of
man! Come over here, and we will couch co-op it and whatnot. And I think it'll be fun.
Hell yeah!
There you go. Lots of great stuff, guys. Again, if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to JB. You're going to want to get all the JBuck content. Great shit coming out like all the time. So you're not going to be disappointed if you give this channel a follow. This is also where we're going to be for our shows going forward. Our live monthly shows will be hosted right here on the JBuck Studios page. So if you're going to catch us next month, it's going to have to be right here. I can tell you guys, this is breaking news.
Break yourself, fool!
And our next live show, we are tentatively scheduling for Wednesday, October 28th. So next month at the end of October, our next live show, again, this will be right here on the JBuck Studios channel. Our next live show next month, October 28th. That is a Wednesday. So it's different from Thursday, obviously, which we're doing tonight. These are going to be moving around quite a bit. So you'll just have to keep an eye on the Facebook and the YouTubes at SoCo Show Pod in both places. Those are the best places to keep track of what we're up to, anything that's moving around. And then also follow Jared on the Twitter.
At Jared Buckendall.
He's always retweeting our stuff too. So in addition to checking out what Jared's building and creating over on the JBuck Studios page, that's also a good place to keep up with what we're doing here on the SoCo Show. So with that, guys, again, we can't thank you enough, everyone in the chat, for spending these last couple hours with you. This has been so much fun, and we appreciate you spending tonight with us. I know we've had a blast. I hope you've enjoyed this as well. Drop some comments down in and below this video. It really helps Jared out, and we would love to know what you thought of this, what you thought of the format, what you'd like to see done differently, what we could do better, anything under the sun. Put those comments down there below. And yeah,
Cody,
that's
before we wrap it up, again, fantastic first episode. I absolutely love this format. I love all 16 of you, or 17, whoever was in here. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun because I don't have to be the spotlight. I get to just click buttons and say horrible jokes and drink vodka. So thank you for wanting to do this, guys. This was awesome.
Hell yeah.
It
Fun time.
went as well as I could have hoped, and even though we're 11 minutes late, we still have people hanging out finding us. So, Caleb is asking where to find us. We're on any podcast platform you're likely to be using. SoCo Show, the SoCo Show, just like it's written up here. Search for us there on all your podcasting platforms, but all of our videos are going to be done right here on the JBuck Studios page. So make sure you're following this very page, so you can get all this stuff.
And I will be updating the description down below with all of their links. So
right on.
Just clickety clack down low.
Before we go, Sam, surprisingly decent. We got surprisingly decent. Dan
that's a
says
box
less
quote.
Less of a hot mess than expected, so that's a win. We'll take that as well. We got some good stuff. Barretto reminding me of something I forgot.
Yes, we need to go to space.
Possibly the best comment of the night.
I missed that. Comment. That's hilarious.
Oh shit.
Mike B, we appreciate everything you've done for the show. Mike has been awesome. We're glad you were able to join us and glad that you had a fun time. Guys, we're going to wrap things up there because I'm too drunk to go on. What you're about to hear is our brand new SoCo Show outro, which comes to us via NPA, who also did our opening theme and is a part of Room 56 Studios. So keep an ear out for this outgoing outro song, which is also very, very fun and very hip and very funky, if I say so myself. So for the final time, that is going to do it for episode 161 of the SoCo Show. For the bro host, Jared Buckendall, and the host, Seth Ott, I've been the co-host, Cody Michael, and we will see you next week.
Bye.